Life is so much easier and so much better when we do work that we love. And that seems like a total no-brainer. And I think even people, they get it and they talk about it, but it's amazing to me how so few people actually do it. And so I extend the question to you. Are you doing work that you love? In my observation, a lot of people, perhaps even a majority of people, they kind of dread their lives or even sometimes hate their lives. And it's often because of what they're doing. And this, man, this can apply to your occupation, the work you do for money, and it can apply to just what you do. It's interesting how often people do things they don't actually like and definitely don't love. They just kind of go through the grind and you say, well, why are you doing that? Like, I don't know. This is what I do. Like, well, do you love it? Do you get up every day excited about your life? Do you love your lifestyle, the quality of life? Do you love where you live? Do you love what you do day in and day out? What about when you have time off, when you have weekends, when you have vacation? Are you doing things you love, or are we just kind of rolling through life existing? And I know for me, that was definitely a point in my life where I was just rolling along, just doing. I was in survival mode, right? Just kind of like had to had to work to pay the bills and then pay the bills and then watch a movie here and there or try to go do something fun, but I wasn't very deliberate or proactive about creating a life that I absolutely love and even exploring like what is it that I actually love. I had to try a lot of things before I realized what I love, and then I started to do it with every aspect of my life. So here's my invitation: that it worked for me. I totally transformed my life from being in survival mode and just going through the motions and doing what others expected and doing what I was seeing other people doing. I kind of looked around and be like, well, this is what others do, so I'll do that too, even though I didn't like to do it. I didn't love doing it. I didn't love that life. I was just kind of doing what I was seeing others do, which is normal, right? We were born into this world, we come into life, and we're surrounded by a certain kind of people, and you look around and you're like, well, that's what they do. And so we kind of follow along. But we get to choose. And when I realized that, man, it changed everything for me. When I realized I get to choose every single aspect of my life. And at first I didn't believe that. I'm like, I don't get to choose this. I have to work and I have to go to this job because if I don't get to eat. So I don't have a choice. But the choice I have is like, well, I don't have to stay here. I can prepare to change. I can gain some knowledge and skills so I can do something differently. So my invitation to have an absolutely extraordinary life is to just start dreaming, exploring mentally, and doing some research. Like, what would you just love to do? Like, what kind of life would just make you so excited to be alive? And now the first thought is like sitting on a beach drinking lemonade in a tropical place every day. And like, yeah, after a week, that would be so boring. And you'd be like, ugh, like I want to do something. So you want to be active, you want to be living, and work is important and good. It helps us contribute and be better people. So, what kind of work do you want to do? What kind of play do you want to do? What kind of lifestyle? Where do you want to live? That was one of the most exciting things to me when I realized, wait a minute, I can live wherever I want to live. I can choose to live in a different place. So we've lived all over the world. Right now, we're living in Europe, just right down from the beach, and I love it. And we get to travel all the time, right? Because we love travel. So, what do you love? What kind of lifestyle would you love? What kind of work would you love to do, or at least enjoy doing, be really good at, get fulfillment from? And I would say perhaps meaning and fulfillment in your work might even be more important than actually loving it at least satisfying and fulfilling. You can use your talents and gifts, and it challenges you and rewards you. But what work kind of fits that criteria, but also facilitates the lifestyle you want? If you want to be outside a lot and you're working in a cubicle, oh man, you're going to be miserable. I've done that before. Or if you hate being outside in hot, miserable weather or cold, rainy weather, and yet you're working outside all the time, you'd rather be inside, then get inside. Or if you're staring at a screen all day and you hate staring at a screen, then you need a different kind of work. So think about it. Start exploring. And I want to, man, I want to drive this home as powerfully as I can, just with as much emphasis and love as I can. You get to choose. Now, it might take some time to transition, but don't just acquiesce. Don't just settle in and give up and say, well, this is the way it's always going to be. No way. Maybe it's just a few months from now. At worst case, it's a few years. Shoot, you can become a doctor in a few years. Like like you can totally change and create a new business. You can do whatever you want. So where do you want to live? How do you want to live? How do you want to spend your time? What would it take and what would have to be true for you to wake up every day and be like, man, I love my life. I love what I do. I can't believe I get to do this for a living. I can't believe I get to spend my precious time, this one great shot at life doing work that I love. And so with an invitation and sincerely with like all the power and influence I can muster here, please create a life you love, because the world needs more people who absolutely love their lives. And I've been on the other side where waking up was horrible. I'd rather be back asleep because my reality back then was so miserable. It was terrible. I hated waking up and I dreaded it. There was times I remember I would get physically sick to my stomach on Sunday night thinking about going to work on Monday because I hated what I was doing so badly. And now on the other side, I love my work. I love my life. You know, my wife and I, we have 7 kids. We travel all over the world. We live where we want. We do work we love that's fulfilling and satisfying and makes a difference. It's amazing. And if I can go from where I was, even I was homeless at 16, to creating this, then you can too. But get serious about it. And once you identify something, you're like, yeah, I think I would really love to do that. Then say, well, what do I have to learn? What do I have to acquire? Who do I have to become? What skills do I need? What knowledge? And get after it. Make it happen and create that new reality so that almost, it's not going to be every day, but almost every day you're excited and fulfilled. And you have meaning and purpose and passion to live a life you absolutely love. Go make it happen and ask, I'm this is what I get to do. I get to coach people every day to help them create extraordinary family lives and create the life of their dreams. So if you have specific questions, just throw them in the comments, ask questions, ask away. I can I can do a podcast episode about it. I can make more videos about it, but I want to help you live a life you absolutely love. Be the man.